Welcome to Littleton Live. I'm your host, Nicole Biagioni. The objective of this program is to have discussions about topics that affect us here in Littleton. We welcome your calls each week and look forward to having meaningful dialogue with you about specific topics that we will discuss. Tonight, our topic is, why do we need a new senior center? We want to hear your opinions on this topic. If you would like to be a part of the discussion, give us a call at 978-540-2487. If you call and are put on the air, please turn down your TV because there's a slight delay in what you're seeing in the direct phone line to the studio. Also, if you get a busy signal or a recorded message, please hang up and try again later. So, the phone lines are open. While we wait for our first call, let me welcome to the studio Maureen Donnelly from the Council on Aging Board and Barbara McRae, who has been an advocate for a new senior center for many years. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. I'm very appreciative that both of you could be here today. So first and foremost, just give us a background on who you are.
Well, first of all, I want to say, Nicole, that I want people to understand that I'm here as a senior citizen. I'm not here to represent my Friends Board, the COA Board, the Elder and Human Services Director, Liz Tretiak. I really am here with my own opinion. I'm not really ready to give too much information until we all learn some more. But this is really personal for many, many years of trying to talk about getting a senior center. So that's why I'm here.
So I'm here representing the COA board, and as I was telling you earlier, I think it's very important that we get from the citizens of the town their thoughts and opinions on what it is that we need in a senior center, what's most important for them, so that as we move forward, we'll have information that we can use.
So before we get into the hard question, ladies, I want to prompt the number because, as you said, you want to hear from the people in town.
Yes.
So the number is 978-540-2487. Call in, please. It's a call-in show, obviously, and I want to hear from you. If you have a question, comment, concern, it's up to you.
Yeah.
So what does this COA and just basic stuff, what does the COA and the senior center provide for the town?
From my opinion, I think that it's a place for people to congregate. It's a place for people to come and socialize. It's a time where people have the opportunity to really use a facility. In other places I've been, as I was saying before, there's people playing cards, or there's men with their coffee cups having their morning coffee discussions. There are opportunities for people to dance and socialize. There are exercise groups. I think it's really important that we continue to add to these things so that people have a space to meet.
This is true. And the reason that we're so interested in having a senior center here in Littleton, people probably believe that we have one now, but we actually have 2 rooms that are ours in this building, and we share the multi-purpose room on the first floor, which means that the Friends, when they give a luncheon, have to reserve the multi-purpose room a year in advance because other people are going to be using it for programs, which is, I mean, we're willing to share, but it is hard when you've planned something and we have a date that we can get maybe a performer or a caterer, and we might have to change it and hope we can get someone. But with 2 rooms, we cannot do the things that Maureen is even talking about. We do have a diner, but we try to get people to come in to use it, And, it's very hard. But after that, there is nothing, I mean, this is going to sound terrible of me to say that there's really not a whole lot that we can offer. We do have good exercise programs.
We do.
And
Line dancing.
we have line dancing. We now have craft class. And I'm talking about the multipurpose room. We do have people come in to talk about medicines and medical things.
Which I think is a good thing. And I also think that if the people who are coming in to do like the chiropractor and the podiatrist, it would be really nice if they had their own private room.
Well, if they had, they actually need a room with a sink too. And we don't have that to provide. And for a while, whether people understand this or not, we were using the selectmen's room for a podiatrist, for a podiatrist clinic. That was rather, to me, something we should never have to do. Also, and what I mean about having medical, I'm talking about telling you how to, use medicine or have someone come in to talk about illnesses and all. And we have lawyers coming in to talk about your will or your downsizing or, doing things like that. And I feel that's all well and good. But I want to see programs that are showing us we're still alive. That we know we're out of here one of these days, but we want to know that we can live right now and do things that are totally fun. And a senior center, to me, a larger senior center, we could do things like dance classes, ballroom dancing. We would love to have a theater group because we had so much fun doing the Follies. And we'd like, things that could spread us around, but help a lot of seniors, not just 2 or 3 or 4. We have cards playing right now, and I think Monopoly, right? But we need more activities.
They do mahjong.
I love that they have a knitting group. That's wonderful.
Every Monday, 12 to 2.
But, it's just not enough. I personally, I'm going to keep saying personally because, like I said, I don't want to speak for anyone else but myself. But I want to speak for seniors that feel like I do. And, I think that they're always going to hear me. I want to say something. I want the audience to hear this, that actually, Nicole, years ago, I interviewed your mother on my show.
Oh my God.
And now, here I am on your show, which goes to prove that, think of how many years I've been doing this and asking for a senior center. Here she is, a grown-up lady, and I'm still here doing the same thing. Come on, we need to do something, and we need to do it soon. We've had, as you know, we've had the survey at a luncheon, how many people want a senior center, how many don't, say whatever you think. We had 75 people there, and over 60 said, yes, we need it.
94%.
Yeah, and 2 said no.
Thank you.
2 said no, will change their mind. And 1 said, why don't you take the library when they move out? But what you don't understand about getting the library is, first of all, the library has to move out for us to get it. They have to have their building built, which is probably going to take, it probably could take a couple years, I'm not sure. After that's built, then they have to move into the building. Then this building has to be redone because it needs to be brought up to code. There's not enough handicap things here. Also, there's things in the building that need to be repaired. So the thoughts are, that I've heard, and they could change every day, is 1 could be tear the building down, start from scratch. The next one could be, maybe we'll make it into senior housing. The next one could be, we will redo the whole building and be able to move people around. Where does that leave us? We're still waiting years for a senior center. It's not going to be tomorrow that the library would move. It's not going to be tomorrow that we would move into their place if it is even given to us. Who says that they might say the town offices really could use that space? I mean, we would need that in
the school.
really writing. So do we want to wait till your children are sitting there interviewing my grandchildren or great-grandchildren saying, we need a senior center? You know, I mean, really, also, you know, it's painful. Mm-hmm. Also, the money that would be spent to redo the building for us to have anything here, exactly. And it's not big enough in the end,
yeah.
Then why do we have to wait? This is what I think the average people do not know, is why we're not rushing to get the library part of this building. And as you know, and you know that we have been offered a building to buy, and that is the DCU building downtown. And I do want to bring this up too, that it was not to be in competition with the library. The library was really working hard on their plans. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, came this opportunity that someone said, this is empty, it's going to cost $3 million, and now it's down to 2.5 for us, and not 15 million. So we're not going saying, okay, you pay 15 million and we'll pay 15 million. We're saying, whatever million you're going to use, do it. We only need 3, and we got it. It's there sitting, waiting for us to do something with it for a senior center. So the thing is, we don't know what's happening right now with that. And again, I want to emphasize to the library people, we didn't do this to put a kink in their...
Absolutely not.
No, it was like, we've been begging for a senior center. This came up. Oh my God, it would be a wonderful senior center. It's 20,000 square feet. We got there's no parking. There's 85 parking places, and I can't tell you what's here at Shattuck Street because it's used by Park and Rec, school department, library, offices, and some seniors. Also, and tennis players and whoever else is in the building.
Guilty. Guilty of being a tennis player, yeah.
Then there's no kitchen. Mm-hmm. If it costs $2.5 million, and maybe less, if we can get it for less, we have some money to build a really nice kitchen. And there's a room there that would be set up as a diner, and we would not have to take the chairs and tables down to have one of the Friends luncheons, which holds 100 people at a time. And we have 100 people come to our lunches now, but 150 want to come, and we cannot do it. We cannot bring that many people in this building. Yeah. So I have a list, and I don't want to take over the whole show, but I feel so adamant about this whole thing going forward.
Yeah. I also think that, from my perspective, seniors as a term, I think some people see as, oh, they're very old and they're crotchety and they have wheelchairs and
walkers
canes,
and
right,
and dementia.
And there are seniors who do.
But they still need a place to go that, you know, they can do things that they can do.
But I also think that 50-year-olds, you know, AARP says at 50, you are eligible for a senior.
Wow, it's getting younger.
Many places at 55, you're considered a senior. So even if you aren't retired, even if you haven't reached the, you know, I'm a senior, you're going to be there. The statistics show that I think it's like 30% of the town is seniors.
Actually, maybe even more than that.
I don't remember the exact statistics.
25 currently, In a few years, it'll be 38%.
Oh, okay.
So a big jump from 25 to 38. Right?
Yeah, yeah. As it turns out, if we can do really wonderful things in a senior center programs, the 55-year-olds will probably look at us as different. Now, I want to say this. This lady is a senior, and I'm a senior. So, come on, give us a little credit, you know, for...
We're not too crotchety.
We still do things, and we don't go home at 3 o'clock, and that bugs me. Because people say, well, the senior center can close like at 3 because the seniors like to go home. Please, we would stay if there were things that interested us.
Yeah.
But we need to know what people think is important to have so that when we have a senior center, people will feel attached to it and people will feel like this is where they want to come. If there's an exercise room, people can come to exercise.
That's what we want. But remember, you're looking ahead at what we can do, but that means we need the place to do it, right?
Okay, Barbara. Okay.
Littleton, I want to hear from you, senior citizens. Give us a call at 978-540-2487. I want to hear from you. They're asking for your opinion, so give us a call, please.
Yeah.
So I guess when did needing a senior center go from a want to a need? When can you think of a time?
Like maybe 30 years ago. We were grateful. The town gave us this 2 rooms down here.
Yeah.
And we were, actually I should say we have 3 because we do have a thrift shop. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I feel guilty that we're using a room for a thrift shop if it weren't for the fact that the thrift shop makes a bundle of money during the year, and which is the Friends' job, and that is to fundraise. This is how we fundraise the most. And we make a lot of money that we can use for programs for the seniors. Oh, and I did want to bring up the fact that sometimes people don't understand that the program is called Elder and Human Services. That means senior citizens and younger people who are in need of assistance from the outreach worker here at the Council on Aging. We still are called Elder and Human Services Council on Aging. The Friends, when they make money, that's for seniors, just for seniors. That's what the law is. The outreach worker helps the younger people who are in need, finding, things and places that they can get everything they need. And we do help them at the thrift shop too, if there's need of clothes or something. So I think what I giggle about the most is that we're the elders and the younger people are the humans. So I don't know where that came from. So sometimes I guess I get really crotchety and say, well, okay, we're not the humans. But
we're both.
We were the humans, though. We were. And so this is what the director, Liz Tretiak, does for Elder and Human Services. And Nicole is, I guess, I think I'm right that she's an assistant director and works for outreach, too.
She does work with outreach.
And now we have a new outreach worker, which will be great because we need one. But and also, when people come in, or even off the elevator, they say, where's the COA office? Because, okay, well, if you go over here and go around the corner and go that way, there's a little office over there and she's in there. It's like embarrassing. Whereas when we were in the DCU, one of the reasons that I fell in love with it was that it had a reception area, remember?
It does.
I loved that fact that somebody or a couple of people could be behind there and welcome people in. Or tell them, oh yes, well the director's in and she'll see you in a minute, or exercise classes in that room. We can't do that now, They're looking around, asking questions all the time. But, well, that's part of what I have to say, but go ahead. Nicole, I didn't mean to take over.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. So I guess there's two, voices. Either use the DCU or build a new building. Say we go down the build the new building track. How much would that cost? Because we already have the library on deck, ready to go. We just have to talk about it at town meeting. If we're thinking about building another one, how much is that going to cost?
Well, this year, if it's, I keep saying 15 million. I don't know what the library's price. Do you?
It's close to that.
Close to that? Well, right now, that's what a building apparently would cost, but we don't have land. So first thing we'd have to do is buy a piece of land. The next thing we'd have to do is hire architects to plan what we need. We need contractors. We need building supplies. We need union workers to build the place. I would say that this year it would probably be 15 million, but the time frame we would have to do it in would be years. So by the time we're ready, it's going to be going up to whatever prices are. And it could be 20 million, it could be 25, I don't know. I'm just raising the price, but think about the years and how wood, everything adds up. So it wouldn't be 15, and it wouldn't be today. It would be years from now, because we don't have anything.
Right. We don't have the land yet. We don't have anything in place that would allow us to, in the short term, have a building.
Yeah, so that's why I guess I get settled on getting the DCU at 2.5 million, which to me is just dollars compared, and we're not interrupting the money for the library.
Yeah.
And we're not bugging anybody anymore. We're just taking care of getting that building ready for us to move in and have a good time.
Yeah, I feel like it's either now or never. And it's been the never for so long. And you, at this point, you're being like,
you're going to be doing it. I'm telling you. Get ready. I hope you're copying all this.
I know, yeah, I'll be writing it down. So say we get the land, get the contractors. We have another guest across the way. Alan, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
So I have a few questions for you because I feel not a lot of people know about how a few things work. So could you start by saying, we've heard about levies. Could you say what above the levy or below the levy, could you give us a bit of information on that?
Surely. The levy is the total amount of funds that the town can by law raise in any given year using the property tax. When they talk about a project such as a library, for instance, construction can be funded inside the levy, which means they won't be raising taxes to do the building.
Please, God.
Or it can be done outside the levy, which means that you have to then have town meeting vote to raise an amount of money to do the construction. And also you have to have a town-wide ballot to approve that. If you do it that way, then the total price of building the building is added to the amount of taxes for the coming years. So inside the levy, no tax increase. Outside the levy, a tax increase. There are trade-offs, of course. If you do it inside the levy, that means that the total amount of money you've got is going to be less for something else because you're now using it for an unanticipated cost. So it gets complicated. It's a lot of things that people have to look at, the finance team has to look at. But in terms of what is above or outside the levy and inside the levy, that's the answer.
Okay. So say if Littleton had both building the library and then also building a new senior center, how would Littleton handle both of those?
Well, we're in the throes now of trying to decide what the funding source is going to be for the library. In terms of the senior center, presently, we already have earmarked $3 million for a senior center. That was predicated on the fact that we might buy an existing building. If that were to be the case, then neither one interferes with the other. If we don't use that and we say we're going to add more money to that as years go by and eventually build a senior center, then we'd have to essentially make a decision years down the road whether we're going to do it inside the levee or outside. I would suspect that we would probably not be able to do it inside the levee simply because the library will be already ongoing at that point.
All right, and then I guess I'm trying to, how do you think taxpayers are going to feel about, say, if the library goes above the levee and then, say, the senior center goes above the levee? How do you think they're going to feel about that?
Well, the senior center, as it's envisioned right now, would not be above the levee. Maybe in the future, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's you do the simplistic way and say that if you tell people we can have a new library and it's not going to cost them in their taxes, then they're likely to say, oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
If you tell people that you can have a new library, it won't cost you anything in your taxes, but we may not be able to do something else 2 years from now because we're still paying for the library, or the funds that we're using for maintenance may go down one way or the other because that money is being used to pay for the library. It might be a different story. I don't know. I suspect that probably the library is in good shape as far as people voting yes on moving forward with it. But we still don't know two things. One, we don't know what the final price is yet because the architect hasn't got back to us yet.
Yeah.
And two, we have not identified the funding source, whether it's going to be inside or outside. Also, you can do a combination. You can say we do have some excess funds inside the levee, we'll apply those, and the rest would go as a debt exclusion and outside the levee. And now, are you still awake?
So the question is, what's a debt exclusion?
Yes. Oh, is that for me? Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Alan. I guess what's your response to that?
My response.
You're just I don't know.
I just don't know because, like I said, I guess maybe I'm just a housewife and I see the DCU as a solution to money and getting it done and seeing seniors have very good programs because it's big enough, that's for sure. Someone was worried it was 2 floors, and I went, you're kidding me. Acton is 2 floors. Other senior centers are 2 floors.
And there are elevators.
Yeah. And the DCU, by the way, is government approved. It has handicapped elevators and restrooms, which is a big, this building needs all of that.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just have one mindset, I guess. If someone could talk me out of it by, whenever, I would listen, but I would like to think that they're thinking our side too.
I also think that it's important to remember that in the last 15 years, 16 years, we've built 2 new schools.
Yeah.
We have a new athletic field.
Yep.
And all of these things, seniors have paid taxes so that younger generations have a good, safe school system a building to be in. And there are fields for them to play sports. And I think that we have paid more taxes so that those things could happen.
Yeah.
And so I think that, not to be nasty, but it's our time.
Exactly. And
You
there's
said
also-
something, she said something, excuse me, too, that makes me think. You just said we do these things, make it safe for the children. How about making it safe for us?
For seniors, right.
And maybe the seniors wouldn't mind paying some taxes for themselves. For a change.
Yeah, I feel like
Maybe.
you pay all these taxes and then you can't even use the thing you pay the taxes on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But we do it and we go, we want them to have what they want.
Well, what
But-
they need.
Yeah.
They needed new schools.
Exactly.
So,
And they needed a new fire
Schools got
department and
built.
police department.
exactly.
And those were built. No.
Now it's our turn.
Yeah. I want to say, too, that I'm so pleased because our town administrator, and Nina Nazarian, she, you know, with everything that she's got on her plate coming here as a new administrator, she's still thinking of us, us seniors, too. I mean, she's thinking of everybody, and she is including the seniors. And so she called a meeting where she wanted 2 selectmen, 2 Council on Aging members of the board, 2 friends from the Friends Board, Liz, the Elder and Human Services Director, Liz Triciak, and herself. And she called this meeting so that we could start doing something about, you know, planning that this show could get on the road. So thank you, Nina. I mean, really, I'm so happy that at least we're thinking soon. I'm not sure soon about having a building, but at least we're thinking of working
Yeah.
together soon. And so I kind of want people to think about what we're talking about, and maybe they could volunteer to help our dream. And
It's very true.
mainly because we've been waiting for 20 plus years to cut the ribbon. So I would
It
love.
would be nice.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be nice.
Well, I'm just gonna say, if you'd like to call in, you've heard a bunch of information regurgitated at you, but if you'd like to voice an opinion, ask a question, the floor is yours. Give us a call at 978-540-2487. I'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear
Yes,
from
we
you.
would.
So I guess we've mentioned the DCU Center so much, and then we've also mentioned a new building. So what are the pros and cons of each of them? Like the 2 pathways we could go down, what's pros and cons? One, I mean, you've mentioned a few, but
Well,
Yeah.
so the DCU building is already built. So it's not, as Barbara has already alluded, you don't have to get land, you don't need to hire an architect, we don't need to have the time that it would take for the building to be built.
Yeah.
yeah.
Another thing is we'd already own a building. So if in 10 years they say, well, this isn't working, we need a bigger building, we need more land, we need something, we have a building we own that we could sell to put towards, you know, another facility for us, I think. I think that. I'm not a realtor, but I'm thinking that's what we could do.
Okay. A lot of people have voiced concerns about the location, that it's in the center of town and it's, yeah. Oh, wait. Hold on.
A phone call.
Here we go.
Hi, Wendy. How are you?
I can't hear you.
It's,
Hello.
you're on Littleton Live. Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. If you have a question, a comment, a concern, the floor is yours. Ask away.
Thank you very much. I've been listening to the dialogue, and I was at the town meeting when we were voting for the $3 million, and I voted yes. And then
Thank
there
you.
was also the question about the DCU, and I'm just confused because I don't know why that came off the table, and you're talking about it like it's still like a possibility. Is it still a possibility, or what changed?
Well, right now, well, first of all, for a while it was quiet. In fact, all of us here were wondering what's going on? We have this money that was voted. And personally, again, we thought that the money was for the building we wanted. But it was actually kind of put like, well, it's for a senior center. So that got a little confusing for some of us seniors. But on the other hand, so we waited for some kind of word on what was going. In fact, the realtor's waiting for some kind of word on what's going on. And I just heard yesterday that we finally, I think it's okay to say this, that we finally signed an architect to look at the building and also look at this building and give us a report on what's going to happen. Otherwise, we really don't have any answers yet.
Oh, so it wasn't, I just didn't know why at town meeting that question was crossed off. Like it was just like they said that we're going to skip over that question tonight.
I think part of the question had to do with the fact that you cannot specify a particular building. That when you are looking for a building, it needs to meet specifications like square footage or where it is and how it has ADA compliance.
Yeah.
So it couldn't, that petition, that citizen's position couldn't stay there because of the fact that it listed the DCU building.
Yeah, we need an RFP for other realtors or people who own buildings in an area like this to say, I have a building I'll sell you for, like
whatever,
$1 million or close to what we want to pay. And then we can decide on one of those. I think you have to have 2 more buildings or something. I don't know what's going on with that either. I don't think.
To buy that building, the DCU building. Like that's one option. You're going to buy it.
It is one option, but we have to make sure that the building is safe. We have to make sure that the building is stable and in good condition.
Yeah.
And so that's why we need the architects to go and assess.
Well, I believe that all of that has been taken care of. What he's doing is seeing if we can do the rooms and things that we want to use for what he has. Probably a list of the programs we'd like to do.
Okay, so now I totally understand. So they hadn't done the work yet to make sure that that building was what you could use.
Correct.
Got it. So it's still on the table.
It is on the table, but we need
good.
to make sure that it will truly meet our needs.
Your needs, perfect. That's good instead of jumping the gun.
So Wendy, can I ask you a question?
Okay.
Are you a senior?
No, but you got me a little bit nervous because I'm getting close to that 50 age.
There you go. Don't be nervous. It's a great time.
It is. It is.
Well, thank you so much, Wendy, for calling in. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye. Well, there you have it.
First call.
Woo!
Yeah, that was perfect. Yeah, that's something we forgot to mention, that people are asking us, what's being done?
Exactly.
We said yes at the
Right.
town meeting. We gave you money, and 450 people voted for it at
I
town
think that people just assumed that it was a done deal.
Yeah.
And I think that what we have come to find out is that there are steps that have to be followed before it can actually happen.
Yeah. So I feel like there's a bunch of either hesitance or I guess slow movement. I don't know. That's not the best word to describe it. I mean, you guys want this now. Then who can push this forward, I guess? That's my question.
I think
Town
that,
fathers.
I think that there are a group of people who are working. I know that Nina is very involved.
Yeah.
I know that our director, Liz, is very involved in talking to other directors how they got their buildings built, what
Yeah.
kinds of things were necessary, what did they find that worked or didn't work. I know that the the two people on this Board of Selectmen, Chuck DeCoste and Cindy Napoli,
And,
are very,
and Joe Knox. Joe
right,
Knox.
are very in favor of it. Whoa.
Hold on, we got Sue on the phone. Hi, Sue, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Hi, Maureen and Barbara. It's Sue Raymond.
Oh,
Hi,
hi,
Sue.
Sue.
All right, Sue, if you have a question, comment, concern, the floor is yours.
Okay. I think I'm getting an echo from my TV, so I'm turning it off.
Thank you.
I think the Friends have done a fantastic job with everything they've done, and they know who I am. I work at the Council on Aging part-time, and I think they've done a fantastic job. There are things that I don't know about the DCU building and things that I've heard, and I'd kind of like to see if I could get an answer. One of them is, maybe we don't know the answer to this yet, approximately how much would it cost to refurbish that building to get it into something that would accommodate the seniors? And I mean, I don't know if Barbara, do you know the answer to that or no?
I'm going to make one up, but
In truth, I don't think we know the answer.
we don't know the answer. But have you been in the building when it was empty?
No, I haven't. No.
No, because you would see how much space there is, how many rooms could be used for different programs, that there are 2 very large rooms that could be used for exercise and meetings and dance and all that. And there's an extra large room that I see as a diner area that could be used even for our large luncheons, and the room could be set up as a restaurant in a way, and left that way, and just used when people want to go in, like Maureen was talking about, go in and the guys in the morning have a donut, play cards, talk to each other, you know, and just visit or come for lunch, because we do have the lunches every day.
But I
to tell
don't
you
think
price and stuff.
specifically, I really don't. I don't
No.
believe that we know it. And I think that's another one of those things that the architect really needs to look at the specifications that Liz will address in terms of what we will need. And then they
Right.
will determine how much money that would be.
Okay, and the other question is, and I may be wrong, you know, I had heard that the septic there is not appropriate for luncheons and things like that, so everything would have to be, I think you had mentioned this too, Barbara, you know, brought in at the time being, but that's a possibility, that a new septic, or no?
Well, no, because we've already investigated here in Shattuck Street to find out what is the story about the septic system, and it came out that, no, you're fine. You can use that.
Okay, okay.
And what if, I mean, I don't know that this will happen. I don't know that the town will vote for sewers or anything, but if that happens, you're golden, if it happens. But we have a septic system we can use. I know that was a concern. I kind of expected that question.
From me.
From anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's wonderful that we definitely need a senior center. Everything, you know, I wanted to put an article in the paper and say, why don't you come visit our Council on Aging? It will take you like 5 minutes. I mean, everybody,
True.
really. I mean,
It's true.
we're crammed in. There's no privacy. I would like to see, you know, a lot of different things that we just can't do right now. So I think it's time that the seniors got something, whether it's the DCU building or some other place that, you know, is more appropriate, wherever that may be. I think it's time we did something.
I agree.
Well, I tell you, Sue, you keep talking like that, and if we get the DCU building, I'm going to go there and put your name on one of the offices.
Oh, gee, thanks. Well, it's tight. I mean, everybody knows. I mean, where I sit, and it's just people want to come in and talk, and you can't, get things done, and it's unfortunate. And if you want to have privacy, you have to ask someone to leave or go in another room, and it's just it's very tight quarters there. So I absolutely agree that we need something, and where, when, and how I don't know, but we do need something.
I agree.
And before we're too old to enjoy it, right, ladies?
Yes. Right. Yeah, we'll get this. We'll get this thing.
Okay, I'll let you go. We'll see you.
Thank you.
Around
Thank
campus.
you so much, Sue.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So we have 15 minutes left in the show. If you'd like to give us a call, give us a call at 978-540-2487. So I feel like you guys have mentioned a lot that it's, besides it being a need, it's also you need a new senior center because it's for quality of life. It's not just because of doctors and
That's exactly
information. You want to do something with your lives. Am I right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When you want to go out with your friends, you go to a club, or you go out
Whatever.
to a restaurant
Yeah.
or whatever, but you have a place where you can go and gather.
Exactly. Yes.
We want that place that we can go and gather. We want that place that's safe, that has the necessities that we need, and gives us the opportunity. It's very good for people's mental health to be able to leave their house, to socialize with people. It's very important that people get out. And a senior center is a place where they can go.
Yes, and I want to say that when the Friends do have their luncheons, we have one a month, 100 people, like I just said, 100 people come. Someone said to me, oh, they come for the food. And it really angers me when they say that, because we watch them when they come in and where they sit, and they find their friends, they talk through the whole thing. Sometimes some of them stay long after we're trying to clean up, you know? And to me, that's why they're there. This is my chance.
A senior center is important.
Yeah, I haven't seen my friends in a while. This is so fun to get together. We have a nice lunch. I'm happy they're having lunch. I'm happy I'm having lunch. But other than that.
I'm going to interrupt you because we have Sean on the line. Hi, Sean. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. If you have a question, comment, concern, the floor is yours. The floor is yours.
Well, first I want to say that I totally agree that the seniors need a senior center.
Thank you.
100% on board. What I was interested in was hearing their opinions on maybe utilizing the old library when they build the new library, if that would be a space that would be conducive for a senior center, and I just kind of wanted to get their thoughts on that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I feel like
we already...
Right.
No, it's okay.
We've talked a lot about that. Part of it is when the library is when the new library is finally built, which will take a period of time, and we're not quite sure how long it will take, then the library here needs to be vacated. When that happens, then this building has to be brought up to code, and at that point, then we might be able to move into that. We don't know that the town offices wouldn't need that space and take it over, or that the school committee wouldn't need that space. Right now, what we do know is if we are fortunate enough to get a building, be it the DCU or another building that is already built, that gives us the opportunity to move quickly.
Yes. Yeah. The library, you know, once this library is built, it's going to take a couple years or so. Mm-hmm. Then they're going to have time to pack up and get over there. Then the building itself has to be renovated, and that may turn out not to be enough room. I don't know how much footage is there, but there's 20,000 at the building we're looking at. And so looking at it, it wouldn't be able to do a lot of the programs. They'd have to totally do that over because this building isn't up to code. So that may take a couple years.
Yeah.
So we're getting a little older here, Sean.
All right.
Did we answer your question, Sean?
I'm sorry, what?
Did we answer your question?
Yes, you did.
All right. Well, I got to thank you because we have another caller on the line. So thank you so much for calling.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye. All right. And our next caller is coming up in a second, hopefully. It'll be her name is Susan. So once the phone will ring. There we go. Hi, Susan. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Well, if you have a question, comment, concern, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. I am definitely in favor of a new senior center or a senior center in town or an expanded one. We need it. We need it desperately. There are so many programs, not enough space, especially not enough office space. But my understanding is that there, and you've talked about it on the show tonight, that there is an architect that is looking at DCU and Shattuck Street for all the spaces that are needed in town, not only for senior center, but also for town offices and park and rec, et
That
cetera.
is correct.
So there's no guaranteed in that library space over there.
No.
And my comment is that a little bit of this is a little too early. Yes, we need the senior center. And your topic question for the evening, do we need a senior center? Yes. It didn't need a lot of discussion. But where it's going to be and how it can, and what spaces we have in town and how they can be used is a bigger question. And I think that the COA needs to also be involved in what are the needs, how much space do we need, what exactly are the needs, and exactly what is the cost to do any renovations, either in Shattuck Street building or at DCU. That's a bigger question that could be a topic later.
Right, but later can't be too late because we need to know what those needs are so that we can move forward.
Oh,
And,
the topic of discovering what we need shouldn't be too late. Absolutely.
Right.
Probably the other thing is that time with buildings that are for sale would be limited also because people want to sell their buildings.
Right.
So if we came up, say for instance, we don't have it right now, if we had 3 buildings ready, we'd have to make a decision. We can't wait years to do that because these people have to sell their buildings.
Yeah.
So that's
Right,
just
but
one
we
thing.
have to know what we need.
Correct.
Right,
what
and
the-
we're working on
what
that,
the
too.
cost of renovating any building is going to be.
Yeah, we're working on that too.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Susan. We have one more call that we're going to try to squeeze in. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good
Thanks.
one. Bye. All right. One more. We have George on the line.
Oh, God, George.
George, how are you today?
Oh, very good.
That's
We're
good.
at the end. We're
Sorry. Well, if you have a question, comment, concern, the floor is yours.
sure. I see that we're almost at the end of the show, so I just want to make a final comment. Geographically, every single town that surrounds Littleton has a dedicated senior center, a separate building. It's a senior center, and Littleton doesn't.
Correct.
I'm embarrassed by that. I'm totally embarrassed by that, and I really hope that this board that Barbara mentioned is going to tell the selectmen and the powers to be that it's very embarrassing.
We're trying.
It is. We've said it, actually, at this meeting, that we had with the selectmen and the different boards, as a matter of fact, I did say we should be embarrassed because other towns have lovely senior centers. And we have 2 rooms, which, you know, we shouldn't even say, come see our senior center. Come see our rooms. But no, we have, it is embarrassing, you're correct.
And it kind of makes me wonder
so
and
I just
question
wanted to
where our
make that point.
priorities lie.
I can't imagine, as the young lady in the middle there with the white hair, I'm sorry, don't remember
Maureen.
her name, but mentioned that we're spending a lot of money on the younger folks in town, and I'm all for that. Everyone goes to school. That's really
Absolutely.
important. But it's not going to take that much to put up a senior center in comparison to, doing that.
Well, and I think that it's necessary and has been necessary for us to have new schools, a new fire department, a new police department. It's really wonderful that there's a new, beautiful alumni field. And the seniors have supported all of that. Now we need the people in the town to support us as we try and get a dedicated senior center.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
thank you so much
I
for
totally
calling,
agree.
George.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye. I think you hit the nail on the head. Do you have any final words before we close? We got 1 minute left.
Help us, please.
Yeah.
Volunteer to work with us, to put the word out.
Yeah.
Right, and also, please contact Liz and let her know what you feel is important. Let her know what you think our needs are, so that as they're looking at this space, they can determine what it is that we need to do with this building or whatever space we have, that we can utilize it to the best of our needs.
Exactly.
Call her at 540-2470 or email. Email them. Maybe you shouldn't say call a lot because she'll be very busy. Sue Raymond will be answering that phone.
That's true, but still, it's important that people talk to Liz and let her know what you think our needs are so that it can be addressed.
Write
Yes.
letters, whatever.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And thank you for watching Littleton Live. I want to thank our callers because we had so many for being a part of the discussion tonight. Next week, August 28th, is our last episode of Littleton Live because I'm heading back to UMass Amherst for my second year as a journalism major. Our topic next week will be announced later on social media, so stay tuned for that. Join us next week and give us your opinions on Littleton Live. I'm your host, Nicole Biagioni, wishing you a good evening, Littleton.